Good morning. We call the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order for September 5th, 2018. Today we have all members present, myself, Nikel Winfrey, President, Mayor Netta Barber, Vice President, and Clotilde LeBroy, Secretary. We'll first start with our swearing in of our new firefighters.
Why they hazing? They hazing bad too.
Oh, thank you.
Morning. Good morning.
This way, this way.
This way, stop.
This way.
Yeah, that's good.
This way.
Yeah, just right here. I'm sorry. All right. Well, that's good. Okay, good. Oh, I didn't even sound it like that. I'll have to go back to sign those. Okay.
They have to be in a certain ink. I know.
No, I just have it in there. Oh, yes. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is the Board of Public Works and Safety, and it's required for us to make an official appointment for you all as being firefighters. I will read the oaths. If you would raise your right hand and just repeat after me, inserting your names. So I'll read my portion first, and then I'll let you know to raise your hand. Okay. We, the undersigned members of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Gary, Indiana, do hereby this day appoint Curtis Johnson, Colin Jamrock, Ashley Stewart, Robert Robinson, Richard Spencer, Rodney Mitchell, Bailey Barnett, Demario Richardson, Tyrone Jackson, Jay Johnson, Justin Webb, Walter Trout, and Kevin Williamson, Jr. Okay. Of the City of Gary, Indiana, as members of the Fire Department of the City of Gary, Indiana, to serve in such capacity until expiration of said official term as prescribed by law or otherwise a qualified successor is so named. So if you would all raise your right hands. I. Your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Indiana. And that I will faithfully. And impartially. Discharge the duties. As a firefighter. Of the City of Gary, Indiana. According to law. And to the best of my abilities. So help me God. May I have a motion, please?
I motion that we accept the firefighters.
I second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you. And then if I need for everyone to sign these, I'll come this way.
Now the new fire solution.
Congratulations. All right. So, Curtis Johnson, Colin Jamrock, Ashley Stewart, Robert Robinson, Richard Spencer, Rodney Mitchell, and I'll just put the rest here. Does everyone have a pen? Here's another one. Demario Richardson, Tyrone Jackson, Jay Johnson, Justin Webb, Walter Trout, and Kevin Williamson.
Did you say Bailey? Trout.
Missing?
No, am I missing one? Okay.
You don't see Bailey?
Okay.
We'll
I'll
correct
do
it.
this one too. This one needs to be. Okay. All right. So if you, if Mr. Johnson and Mr. Barnett will stay, go to the Public Works office after this meeting, then they can prepare a new one with the correct.
They can walk up
information.
there now. I have ready to
Okay.
do
If
it.
you go to the third floor and you can sign. Oh, I'm sorry. Did anybody need a pen? Everybody has a pen?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So those are the two.
And Bailey?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So the other two
Thank
people,
you. So there were two people, Jay Johnson and Bailey Barnett, that need to go to the third floor now and they'll get a new, their name was wrong on one and the other person. Yes, you can get copies from Raven. Or actually, well, if you wanna wait, I can sign them and you can take, well, everyone has to sign it, so we'll send them over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have approval of the minutes for August 29th.
Madam President, I move that we accept approval for minutes for August 29th.
A second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have request to advertise. What happened to my pen? Okay.
To Nikhil Allen Winfrey from Lloyd Keith, request to sell mobile devices. The City of Gary requires 3 bids from different companies, and the Information Technology Department is wanting to adhere to the policy, but we are having issues doing so. Across the board, most companies want phones shipped to them and then a bid would be offered. The Information Technology Department is looking to support local company Calls for Pause, using Calls for Pause. We're able to gather numbers and prices without shipping the phones off, and they receive 10% of the proceeds. Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve the request to advertise.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have claims.
First, we have ratification of claims paid on August 31st, 2018. The general fund, $1,816.67. Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve the ratification of claims paid August 31st.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have ratification of claims paid on September the 4th, 2018. The general fund, $4,120.58. Local roads and streets, $4,244.26. The mayor's donation, $2,062.72. Total claims paid, $10,427.56. Madam President, I'm going to move that we ratify the claims paid on September the 4th, 2018.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have approval of claims to be paid on September the 7th, 2018. The general fund, $163,880.26. Special revenue, $83,146.80. Home program, $8,595.09. Ambulance not reverting, $21,191.97. Genesis Center operating fund, $11,563.34. Redevelopment, non-reverting, $4,929.64. Fire pension fund, $1,300. Police pension, $13,300. Lead grant, $1,587. Healthy Start, $113.13. LDA Casino, $1,500. Total claims to be paid, $311,107.23. Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve claims to be paid for September the 7th.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next, we have ratification of payroll paid on August 31st, 2018. Total payroll was $1,622,684.70. Madam President, I move that we approve the ratification of payroll that was paid on August 31st, 2018.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next week, does that conclude claims?
That concludes
Okay.
claims.
Next, we have correspondence and agreements. Correspondence from the fire department.
To the Board of Public Works from Greg L. Thomas, City Attorney, approval of contract with Image Trend Incorporated. The Law Department has drafted the attached contract between the City of Gary and Image Trend Incorporated. The contract is for software design and administration for emergency medical databases to be used by the Gary Fire Department for a more efficient billing process for their EMS services. The term of the contract runs from the effective date until August the 29th, 2019. The cost of the services shall not exceed $10,800. The contract is in proper legal form and is sufficient to adequately protect the interests of the city of Gary. This contract is effective as of August 29, 2018, by and between the city of Gary and Image Trend. Scope of services: the contractor agrees to provide storage of data elements of an emergency medical database for emergency medical services, EMT, for the city of Gary Fire Department. The term of the contract shall be for a term commencing on the effective date and expiring August 29, 2019. The compensation: city agrees to pay contractor amount not to exceed $10,800. There's a QC 40 for funding attached. And also attached is Exhibit 1. So, Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve the contract between the City of Gary Fire Department and Image Tree Incorporated.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have correspondence from the Law Department.
To the Board of Public Works, from the Nickel Allen Winfrey Corporation Council, service contract between the City of Gary and Peachtree Recovery Services Incorporated. The Law Department has reviewed the attached service contract between the City of Gary and Peachtree Recovery Services Incorporated. It is in proper legal form and is sufficient to adequately protect the interests of the City of Gary. Agreement number 18-1401 between City of Gary and Peachtree Recovery Service Incorporated. The term of the agreement: this agreement shall be effective as of the date of signature of this contract by both parties, as stated in writing here above, and shall expire on December 31st, 2021. The contract services and schedule: the agreement services will be described in the statement of work, attachment A. The contract renewal: if both parties agree, the agreement may be renewed for an additional term of 3 years, so long as the terms and conditions remain the same, except as defined by this contract. Price adjustment clause: contract pricing shall remain fixed for the initial 3-year term of the contract. After the initial term, PRS may request a price escalation by submitting a fully documented request for a review of the pricing. Such escalation shall not exceed a 5% increase. The using agencies and purchasing manager will review the request and shall approve or disapprove the increase based on budget constraints and other price comparisons. If approved, the price increase shall not commence until the city's next fiscal year. If for any reason PRS has a price increase that exceeds 5%, the price increase will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. The city and PRS will have the option to discuss and make any adjustments to the requested increase. Payment to the City of Gary: PRS shall pay to the city 82% of all damages recovered during the initial term of the agreement, retaining as its fee 18% of such recovered claims for its recovery services. PRS fee shall not exceed a maximum fee of $10,000 per claim. Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve the service contract between the City of Gary and Peachtree Recovery Services.
I second.
Any questions? Just for clarification, the company, essentially, when someone damages city property, runs into a light pole, a stop sign, they recover those damages on behalf of the city, and they receive 18% of whatever they recover. If they don't recover anything, they don't receive anything. So that's a clarification to explain what they're doing. And they do this in other cities throughout the United States, including in Atlanta. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Next, we have any unfinished business? No. New business, there are 2 items. One, it says, well, maybe Brock K. Jones, controlled burn.
Okay. Clotilde LeBroy, Director of Public Works and Safety. Dear Ms. LeBroy, I would like to get on the agenda for the next Board of Works meeting. The purpose is to obtain permission to do a controlled burn of an old tree cutting wood dump pile on the unimproved city-owned Lakeshore Drive right-of-way north of 7530 and 7542 Oak Avenue. It isn't feasible to haul the cut wood pile away, as heavy equipment cannot get in due to the dune topography. This is for Congressman Velosky and his wife Joanne Royce's house, where they want to restore the dump to natural and native dune. They would pay for the controlled burn and restoration to native dunes habitat. The wood dump pile is on the unimproved right-of-way of the Lakeshore Drive east of Marquette Park, mainly north of 7530 Oak Avenue, as in the aerial photo attached. We would need a letter of permission to do a controlled burn at this site with the usual neighborhood safety protocol of notifications, fire breaks personnel with water and fire suppression equipment, and wind blowing the smoke over the lake, not into the neighborhood. The letter should be addressed to Brock Jones below, but a hard copy or scanned copy should be given to me to put with the application to item for the permit. I have been doing the control burns at Marquette Park for the past 3 to 4 years, so I have a track record with the Department of Public Parks in Gary. I have a Gary business license and proper training and equipment for the control burn. The time frame for the control burn will be this November or December. The exact date depends on the weather conditions and how long it takes to get the permitting done from item. Thank you. And this is Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve the control burn request from Brock K. Jones.
I second.
Any questions? I do have a question. Does the fire department normally review those requests?
I would ask that she, they follow up with Deputy Chief Mark Jones.
Okay.
Ms. Jones, did you hear that?
Chief Jones in the fire department? Okay.
Yeah, I have to look for my fire department, obviously.
Okay, yeah, I was just making sure because I didn't know if they, because we haven't, I don't think we've received a request before to my recollection.
Before in previous years, not this year.
Not this year, okay. So I didn't know if they had to sign out prior to us giving the approval. So I would just, if you could modify your motion contingent upon a sign out by the fire department that they're going to work with the applicant to make sure that it's, done within city standards.
Okay, so I move for approval contingent upon approval for the fire department.
Second. I'm sorry.
I second.
Any other questions? All right, and the contact is Mark Jones, Chief Mark Jones. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, there's also another one. Dear Ms. LeBroy, I would like to get on the agenda for the next Board of Works meeting. The purpose is to obtain permission to do invasive species management at the edge of a city-owned 20-acre wetland property north of 49th Avenue next to Hobart. This is directly east of Bailey Middle School on Georgia Street. And I am working on a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service grant job to control invasive species on the 6-acre Spring Lake Isaac Walton League wetland adjacent to the 20-acre city-owned wetlands. Please see the attached aerial photo maps. The second aerial photo has the light blue outlined area between the ditch and Spring Lake Isaac Walton wetland. This is where I would like to control invasive species. Otherwise, they will move back into the Isaac Walton League wetland. There were ditches on your 20-acre property before, but they were dug better this winter under a cooperative agreement with the Little Calumet River Basin Commission, Lake County Surveyor, Hobart Township, and City of Hobart. The light blue outline strip has a rough access road and steel, the line of wooden telephone poles with NIPSCO power lines. I thought perhaps the partners would pick up the spoiled piles they left behind later, but that did not happen. So I just brought it to Dan Repay's attention at the Little Calumet River Basin Commission as a potential wetland fill issue. The invasive species management would be done at no cost to the city of Gary. I have a Gary business license, a pesticide applicator license in category 5 and 6, which includes wetlands, and currently work as a contractor for the Gary Department of Public Parks and Gary Sanitary District Stormwater Green Urbanism. The time frame for the invasive species management is as soon as possible. The exact date depends on the weather conditions and as Hibbison requires a sunny day with no rain and at least 2 hours. Thank you.
I have maps.
Okay, the maps are attached to the request.
Thank you.
Would you like to speak?
Sure.
All right.
That'd be nice.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Please proceed.
Okay, Sandy O'Brien, 5500 South Liverpool Road. And the maps show the Gary property is the rectangle that is going north to south. And then the blue line on the left side or the right side of it is, on the east side, is this area between the ditch and property border. And then the 6-acre wetland is adjacent to that I'm spraying the invasive species in. And of course those invasive species, they spread by seed and they spread by roots. And the worst is the spreading by the roots. Because these species are invasive because they're like really good spreaders, so they send out the runners and they just, every year their clones get bigger. And so I want to stop it at the ditch. And that would make sense from a management point of view. And Shirley Hines Land Trust is managing this land up to the north of the Isaac Walton wetlands, so they're taking care of their side. It's just the ditch side that's a problem.
So you'll be working in this area right here?
Yeah, just the strip,
Okay.
which is enough.
And what type of, what do you use to stop the species from spreading? What do you use to do that?
Aquanita, it's a wetland safe, glyphosate form
Okay.
with surfactants and stuff so that I don't have to use as much of the herbicide stuff to make it work better. And here's my pesticide applicator card if you want to take a look at it.
Thank you. Can we make a copy of this to put in our file just so we have it? Is that okay? Okay. After the meeting, we can, Ms. LaBroy can take you to the public works office.
Or you can just head up there and ask
Okay.
them.
And one other question. Have you had any conversations with environmental affairs for the city? Or no?
I can talk to Pete about it.
Okay, all right. So the same, if you would make your motion contingent upon, I just want to make sure that we loop in the appropriate city departments and we're not just sort of making a decision and we don't know something that they may have going on, so.
Yeah, I kind of think there's nothing going on, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Just in case, you never know, so
I
we
will.
don't have all of the
I will.
department information, so that's why, the fire department and environmental affairs, if you could just touch base with them before you proceed, that would be.
And that's with Brenda and Pete.
Yes. Yes, all right, thank you.
So, will you write a letter to me after that point, or have them write it, or something like that?
Normally, when we do the approval, it'll be approved in our minutes.
Oh, that's good enough, yeah. So I would say a
So if you have the minutes from today, which will be available
By next week.
on Wednesday of next week.
Okay.
So, those minutes will reflect that both were approved, if that's what you need. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, May I have-
Okay, Madam President, I move that we approve the invasive species management at the edge of the city-owned 20-acre wetland property of north of 49th Avenue, contingent upon speaking with someone from Environmental Affairs.
A second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Okay, we also have a contract between the city and the airport for firefighting services, the ratification and extension until December 2018 that needs to be added to the agenda. No, you don't have it. The memo is coming up.
Madam President, I move that we add it to the agenda.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And you can just read the whole thing, it's short.
This extension of an interlocal agreement is made by and between Gary Chicago International Airport Authority and the City of Gary in consideration of the mutual promises and covenants contained herein. The parties agree as follows. On or about March 14, 2011, the parties entered into an interlocal agreement for the providing of airport rescue and firefighting services at the Gary Chicago Airport by city firefighters. On or about July 9, 2012, the parties extended the interlocal agreement through December 31, 2012. On or about February 7, 2013, the parties extended the interlocal agreement through December 31, 2013. The Gary Airport has been satisfied with the services provided and continue to pay for services from January 1, 2014 until present. The parties would like to ratify and extend the intralocal agreement from January 1, 2014 to and including December 31, 2000. Let me go back. The parties would like to ratify and extend the interlocal agreement from January 1, 2014 to and including December 31, 2018, subject to the amendment and modification referenced in this extension. In accordance with paragraph 4.2 of the local interagreement, the Gary Airport shall reimburse an amount not to exceed $370,000 per calendar year for 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 2018. Reimbursement will be remitted quarterly in an amount not to exceed $92,500 with these exceptions. All other terms and provisions of paragraph 4.2 shall remain in full force and effect. Madam President, I'm going to move that we approve the extension or ratify the extension of the interlocal agreement.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So she'll bring the memo, and if you would sign this for me. Okay, I need to take that with me and get notarized another page. All right. That concludes our agenda topics. We'll open for public comment. Would anyone like to speak? Yes, sir.
First of all, I'd like to extend my appreciation to the administration and to the Board of Public Works and Safety for hiring today the 13 new firefighters. And I'd like to extend my appreciation to them for their service and wish them a long and safe career serving the citizens of Gary, protecting property, and saving lives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank them for their service in advance. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for permissions
Okay.
and contingencies. Well, I'll get that taken care of.
Thank you for your work in the city. Anyone else? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
A motion that we adjourn the meeting.
All right,
So moved. Second.
meeting adjourned, thank you.